Hi, this is Penny with Evil Sizer. I'm here to talk to you about 2022. I know, right? We're only going to have one more quarter left of 2021. It's been a crazy year, as we all know, but it's also time and it's not too soon to figure out your plan to get everything ready for 2022. So hop on over to the blog. I've got a link below, and I'm going to go over this with you through this video so we can talk about what's going to happen as a broker, what you need to do in as far as planning as a carrier. October 1st, which is not far away, will be the UCR renewal open season, as it were. So you have until the December 31st to file your UCR. And what is a UCR? It's another layer of government, as we know, and it's for brokers and carriers. Both need it. Now, it's a flat fee for a broker. Now, for a carrier, it kind of depends on the number of vehicles in your fleet that go interstate. So if you have a rather large fleet and none go out of the state, you don't have to file the UCR for that one. For those, you just need to file for the interstate trucks. Let's talk brokers first. So really, brokers are simple. That's why I kind of put them at the top. You only need to file the UCR. There is a link below if you'd like help with that, or you could go direct to the agency. The choice is yours. We can definitely help you with it and get that filed really quickly. Now, brokers do not need to do an MCS 150. There's been a lot of weird emails go around from different third-party agencies. And if you're a broker, you can disregard the one that says you need to update your MCS 150. That is not a thing. So as brokers, you only need to file a UCR. And again, there's a link below if you would like assistance with that. So motor carriers have a few more items to take care of. And I did break this down by GVW. GVW is an acronym for gross vehicle weight, which means this is the weight of the truck, the trailer, and the load. This is the maximum weight. So for a typical semi, it's usually 80,000. And if you have a box truck, you're looking like a 26-foot box truck, you're looking at 26,000. So figure out where you are in this chart, and then that'll really help you to determine what you need to do for the end of the year. So I've got it broken down into 3 categories here. And you've got under 10,000. Now, under 10,000 pounds does not need a UCR. You really don't need a whole lot of anything if you're under 10,000 pounds. So that's a good thing. However, you just don't haul as much. It depends on the needs of your customers and how you want to run your business. Then there's a second category here, which is from 10,001 to 26,000 pounds. And here you need a few more items here. Of course, you need your insurance filed with the government to activate your MC. Keep an insurance card in your possession. File your BOC. Keep your medical card on hand. You do need to file a UCR, and this is based on, the fees are based on how many trucks you have in your fleet that go interstate. Now, the only mileage tax permit you might need if you go to New York, if you don't go to New York, don't get it, is the New York HUT sticker. If you have trucks over 18,000 pounds, you may need a New York HUT sticker. Now, if you're not anywhere near New York or you don't plan to travel there, don't get this decal. This account does require you to file quarterly taxes. You've got to file tax and pay taxes on every mile that you travel in the state of New York on non-toll roads. So just know that. That's the only mileage tax permit that's required in this category. So the big category here is over 26,000 pounds. That's the one that you're going to need a lot more. So you're going to know already from this year that you need a good size permit book for each one of your trucks. So the insurance is just go ahead and double check, make sure your insurance is good. I have seen accounts where all of a sudden there's insurance pending and then it goes inactive because the customer just didn't realize that this was going inactive. So it's always a good idea to check that out with the licensing and insurance on the SAFER. Now the next one is you've got to keep your insurance card with you. That's pretty much a given. The BOC, as long as your authority is active, you should have a BOC on file. If not, you can file it with us. We'd be glad to handle that for you. Now, the UCR, this is another permit, an annual permit that if you cross state lines, you're going to need. So be sure that you apply for, and renew for your UCR for the interstate trucks. You don't have to pay for the intrastate, and the intrastate don't leave the state. So if your trucks are going from state to state, you do need the UCR. Make sure you have a valid medical card. Make sure you have a valid CDL. If it's going to come up for renewal, then get that renewed for sure. You will need to be a part of a drug consortium if you're the owner of the company. So go ahead and go to the clearinghouse and sign up. You'll need to register there as well. And then you will need to put in your drug consortium company and then pull queries every year. Be sure you're doing that. And if you're over 26,000 pounds, check to see if your IRP plates are coming due. Some come due at the end of the year, some at various times of the year. Each state is different. They govern their own rules. So it's just a good time to stop and take, a moment, take an hour and kind of figure all these things out when your different permits renew. And then mark it in your book to see. 2290, that was due last August. And that goes from, it's kind of a weird calendar year. It goes from July of one year to June 30th the next year. And then they give you 2 months. They give you till the end of August to make the filing without penalty. Now, these are for trucks over 55,000 pounds and heavier. If you're less than that, you don't need to worry about the 2290. Also, there's exemptions if you don't travel that far, like less than 5,000 miles a year. So take a look at that, because typically you can't apply for IRP for an 80,000 pound truck without this being filed with the IRS. So IFTA does renew at the end of the year. And if you renew it, of course, again, each state is different, so check with your state. Some states do want you to send in a renewal. Some states, as long as you have filed your IFTA taxes in a timely basis, then you don't have to file, or you don't have to renew. It'll automatically renew. Now, you may not get your stickers till February of the next year, and that's okay. That's just how the system works. You need to have the new stickers on your truck by February 28th of the next year. And be sure your taxes are up to date. And then you have these 4 mileage tax permits. And again, with Kentucky, if you're 60,000 pounds or heavier, you need to have a KYU. Anything that's lighter than that, you do not need it. But you do need to keep up with your mileage tax permits, on a quarterly basis. And as long as your account is active, it'll just roll over to the next year, so you don't really have to worry about anything. So if you get mail or emails from these states, take a look at it. Don't ignore it, because it might be something important that maybe you've missed. Now, the next one is New Mexico, and this is for 26,001 pounds and heavier. You are required to file a mileage tax permit and quarterly taxes. Same with New York, except New York is 18,000 and above, and you don't have to pay on the toll miles. But you do have, if you have a zero report, then you need to file a zero report. Just not filing is not acceptable with the states. So be sure that if you didn't travel in there, that you went ahead on time, that you filed a zero report. And then you've got Oregon. Oregon is an expensive state. It just is what it is. And so they do require a bond. And most of the time, Oregon requires you to file monthly instead of quarterly. Now, you can file they require you to file monthly for the first year that you have the permit. And then you can request it to go quarterly. It won't go automatic. So I want you to go through these interstate requirements and make sure that you're ready for 2022. Because as you know, if you've traveled enough, the Border Patrol, at the port of entry, they don't give a lot of grace. They know that you know what's going on, and they expect you to take responsibility of your company. So be sure that you've got your permit books in order. And it also might be a good idea. I'm one that I like old school. I like the binder, the paper copies in there, because sometimes your phone can, die, basically, or you might not have service that you can pull up those reports and your permits. So it's a good idea to have it in both places. Have it on your iPad or your laptop or your, whatever you carry with you, your iPhone, and then also have a paper copy as a backup. It's just a really good plan to have in place. You can download this checklist. Just go ahead and click up here where it says download checklist, and print one out for each permit book, and then go through it and figure out if you've got everything that you need. So if you want to renew the UCR, you can go ahead and click here. You can also update your MCS 150, because if your number of trucks is different than what you have now and it throws you in a different category, you're definitely going to want to change that. And you can do both of those in with this link. So you can just go ahead and click here and it'll take you there, and you can just fill this out, and then it'll come directly to us, and you can go from there. So let's go back to the blog post. And we have a lot of other blogs here that you can read. We're trying to be more mindful in keeping the current information out there. So let's see, let's go down here. So we talked about the IFTA and mileage tax permits. So you can go ahead and read about that. We talked about the IRS 2290 and then the IRP renewals. So, bottom line, the purpose of this video is just to put this information at the forefront. Just go ahead and take an hour, 2 hours, and then just look at all of this information, download the checklist, and get ready for 2022 so that you feel confident when your trucks are going across the state lines that you're not going to have any issues. And that's a good peace of mind to have. So bottom line, take a few moments to look at your permit and make sure it's complete. So not taking the time may result poorly in possible shutdowns and or expensive fees right at the port of entry. That's not what you want. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave me a comment down here below, either in the blog or below this video, and I'd be glad to respond. I really try to respond within a short period of time, because I know your time is valuable and you have questions. Or you can give one of our agents a call here at the office. So go ahead and like and subscribe, and we'll do more of these informative videos for you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.